Welcome to the wheel-to-wheel guide for Thunderhill West from yousuckatracing.com. Thunderhill West is a new addition to the Thunderhill track. It's also called the 2-mile track. You can glue the 3-mile and the 2-mile together to make a 5-mile track. This video is just about the 2-mile track. Northern California has a lot of great racetracks. Sonoma Raceway is here and Laguna Seca, but Thunderhill West is actually my favorite. I'm driving now down the hot pit lane towards the track entrance. The main straight is over the K-wall to the left. As you get ready to enter the track, watch out the left side and keep to the right. Here's an overview of the track. The point marked B is the track entrance that we just talked about. I'll be talking about each corner in turn. We'll be looking at it 3 times plus a track overview. The areas that are green are full throttle. White is where you're going to be coming off the throttle, a little partial throttle or maybe a lift here and there. And the red is braking zones. The letters A through H are areas of particular note because they're a little bit dangerous. In the second half of the video, we'll watch some race laps and I'll give you some insight into some of the things I'm thinking about while I'm driving this track. Let's start with turn 1 at high speed and no interruptions. Turn 1 is a high-speed kink marked at A, followed by a heavy braking zone, the red part there, and then an off camber as it turns up to the right. The kink is actually very high speed. You might breathe the throttle off just a tiny bit before you go through, but you really want to be on it as you go through the kink. You'll hit an apex on the left and then one on the right, and then it's heavy on the binders before you turn it up towards the off camber section. This corner has 3 danger zones, the first one being A. Some people may overslow this corner, so you may come up very quickly behind them. The second danger is going a little bit too soft on the brakes. If you carry too much speed through the off camber, you can fall off the track on the left side across from B. Finally, you want to watch for traffic coming onto the track and be wary that the people who are coming on might not see you. As you're heading down the main straight, you're thinking about the kink ahead, specifically the braking zone after the kink. That's where your focus should be. You may do a light lift here. If you're going super fast, you may even brake. But you turn it on, you go on throttle through the left side, hit the right side, hard on the brakes. Eyes are still up. You're looking at the next flag station, making sure everything's clear. Looking at the track entrance as you head up towards turn 2. Let's see that again, full speed, and listen to the engine. Turn 2 is a 180-degree carousel that starts going uphill and then comes downhill at the end. It's on camber at the beginning, then flattens out towards the middle and goes even slightly off camber at the very exit where it's marked C. This is a really fun corner for a lot of reasons. If novices drive this track, they can't help but to overspeed the middle part of the corner, and so they get a little bit of slide even if they're not ready for it. So it's a good educational corner. As you go around this corner, you can take a number of different paths. You can double apex it, you can go around tight, you can go out wide and then bring it in. Whichever path you take, you really want to be focusing on the exit. There's a long straight afterwards, and so your focus should be on attaining the greatest exit speed you can. Turn 3 is a high-speed corner, and I want to emphasize that it's a really high-speed corner. The way you take this corner is to brake very briefly on the entrance and then go through under throttle. Your eye should be up and looking at D, and because that's where you're coming out. You don't want to go into the dirt there. What I see a lot of people do, they make the mistake of trying to go twisting through this corner, but it's really straight through. I take this corner in fourth gear. I feel that it simplifies my activities, it makes it smoother and safer. Maybe if I was a better driver I could do it in third and get a little bit more power, but I like to do this simply. It's just fourth gear, it's just steering, and I'll do my downshifting later. Turn 4 is probably the most important corner on the track for two reasons. One, the exit speed is really important because you'll be in full throttle for a very long period on the track after this. And the other reason is that people sometimes fall off the track at the point marked E. As you're approaching this corner, think to yourself, out, 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 in. Look for the flag station and aim for that. People who turn it in too early end up going off the track on the right. The S's are a full throttle part of the track, and if there's no traffic, you just go straight through. If there is a lot of traffic, it tends to move back and forth, left, right, and then you'll want to check your mirrors, and you're hoping other people are checking their mirrors if you're trying to set up passes in this area. As you approach the end of the S's, you're going to want to set up track right to give yourself the best entry to turn 6. You should also be looking at the flag station ahead because it's a little bit blind coming up, and if there's any trouble ahead, you'll want to know as soon as possible. Turn 6 is a high-speed left-hander with a blind exit. You're really trying to keep as much speed as possible, but not build it too quickly or you might fall off the track at F. There's a little bit of a danger of people sometimes overslowing at G. If you can see my face right now, I'm grinning ear to ear. I love this corner. I'm balancing throttle and steering as I come through here to try and maximize my traction. You can see how close I come to the track on the right-hand side, and then again on the left-hand side, getting ready for the heavy braking zone afterwards. Turn 7 offers a really interesting contrast compared to the last corner. In 6 we were really concerned about maintaining all the speed that we had built previously, but in turn 7 that's not really the case. It's really a rotation corner, not a momentum corner. The only real danger to this corner is people over-braking the entry. People sometimes set up their braking at G, which might find you really riding their rear bumper, but this offers them a good passing opportunity. Turn 8 is a really fun corner because the first couple times you go over it, you're thinking to yourself, where does the track go? And then later on you trust yourself, and it's fun trusting yourself, and it's fun going a little bit faster and sliding it up over the top. So it's a good ego boost when you get this one right. Turn 8 is not a very difficult corner, but there is a heavy braking zone right at the end of that is also a good passing zone. So I want to talk about turn 9 and 10 as a connected set of corners because really the point of this complex is 10. 10 is a really important corner because it leads onto the main straight, and maximizing your speed through here is really important. It makes 9 somewhat of a throwaway corner. A lot of times when you talk about compromised corners, you think about having to not track out to the exit and you have to really hug on the other side of the track. But this is one where just the geometry of the corner means you can sort of track out to the exit. But again, the focus here is on turn 10. To maximize your speed on the main straight, you really have to increase the radius of turn 10 as large as possible to increase that speed. And you also have to get the angle at the apex down the track as much as possible. It is a little bit dangerous when you're heading far out to the right-hand side here, getting close to the tires, and it's probably not a good idea to try and pass someone on the outside here. Device on the dash that reads 132.2 right there is giving me my lap time and my speed in miles per hour. This timer is a predictive timer, meaning it compares your current lap to your previous best lap. So right now I'm 9, 10, 11 hundredths of a second slower than my best lap. Below that shows the current speed in the corner. Predictive timers are really useful because they turn every corner into an experiment. You can go in, check the time, take a different line, look at the timer and say, aha, that worked or that didn't work. You don't really use it so much in a race that way, but when you're training, it's a really useful tool. The timer is reading negative now, which means I did something very good last corner because I'm now going faster than my previous fastest lap. I make a little steering bobble here, and look how much time this cost me. It's really instructive to see that. I was a good 10th ahead of my best pace, and now I'm a 10th behind it, so that cost me 2/10, just that little bit of extra countersteer. The cars ahead of me have higher horsepower than I do, but based on the fact that I caught them, that I'm probably better in the corners than they are, so I'm going to have to pass them under brakes at some point or in the corners and then defend that position. This is a pretty good corner exit, as you can see my rumble strip showing me gaining time here. The difference between that lap and the previous lap was 1/10. I get through the kink a good deal faster than the cars ahead of me, which gives me a passing opportunity coming up in 2. I get a good drive off of these corners and end up on the inside here. I think the other driver is giving me the lane here and say, hey, go ahead and pass me, but I hang back just a little bit because I'm a little concerned of the car cutting in on me, but it doesn't, and I make the pass there. I'm going to take him in 7, but it turns out that he closes off the inside lane and then the outside lane, and I can't get by him afterwards because he's got a good deal more power than I do, so I just have to be patient. E30 there really holds us up, and it lets the E36 catch me. I'm a little concerned about him passing, but I know he doesn't like to go through here very fast, so I'm not too worried about it. I exercise a lot of patience when I'm passing the next car. It's an endurance race. I'm going to be in the car for an hour or 2, and the next driver's going to be in for an hour or 2, and it's not really that important to try and push all the time. It's better to be nice to the car and to be nice to the other drivers. It's an amateur race. There's no big prize money here. We're just having fun. So I'll be patient. Other people will be patient. Things will sort themselves out eventually. So while things are developing, I can say a little bit about the car. This is a 1997 Mazda Miata. It's basically stock on some slightly cut springs and non-adjustable suspension, 200 treadwear tires. These are NT05s. There's really nothing special about this car, except that a lot of the weight has been stripped out of it. So it weighs about 2,000 pounds without a driver and without much gas in the tank. So it's pretty light, but it doesn't make more than about 120 horsepower. It's burning quite a bit of oil at this point in time. The engine's getting pretty tired, but it does handle pretty well. That corner was a little bit impatient, and you'll see that coming up in turn 1 and 2 also. Just not my best driving here. The rumble strip doesn't lie. Those shenanigans cost me 0.6 of a second. Approaching a couple of slower cars ahead, and the BMW is closing up behind too, so life here is about to get a little bit more interesting. So right here, I'm going to show him that I really want to pass. I don't actually really attempt to pass. If he cuts in, I'm just going to back off there. But I really want to give him the idea that it's time for me to get by. So I'll be pressuring him a couple of times before the actual pass occurs. Right here, I'm going to take a look inside on 2 and see if he's going to let me by him. But he shuts that down, says no, and I'll have to wait for another opportunity. I'll put a little bit more pressure on this corner. Not so much that there's any kind of danger happening. I can always back off if I want to. This red Miata graciously lets both of us by. It's the next best thing to a point by. I saw the Miata really hold up that RX-7 in the braking zone. I decided that I could take the inside line and it would be okay. Coming back onto the main straight here, I'm a little bit concerned about that RX-7 passing me, so I hold up a little bit and runs pretty much the same speed as the Miata next to me, forming a 2-wide roadblock. And then I decide I can extend my way through the twisty bits and get away from all the rest of that traffic. And you can see in the rear view mirror that after a couple of corners, they're a second or two back. Thanks for watching, and if you'd like more diversions, check out my blog at yousuckatracing.com.